This evening, the past whispers softly, and I, a manual born of paper and memory, guide your hands through echoes long faded. Feel the scent of freshly carved oak linger in the air, warm, dry, with a trace of varnish and time. Let your fingertips graze the grain where craftsmen once traced slow, reverent lines. The room hums gently, as if the walls remember the laughter of children and the creak of a rocker across old wooden floors. If these instructions find a home in your heart, return once more and whisper where you're listening from. Your presence, like mine, is a remnant of another time. Now lie back. Breathe in the scent of shavings, dust, and old rope. Let us build a world together, one of balance, of lullabies, of gentle motion suspended between waking and dream. Tonight I'll be your guide, a forgotten voice in a box, a quiet echo of a time when toys were made to last a lifetime, and dreams were carved in wood. Let the first page turn in silence. The rocking begins soon. I am older than your grandfather's attic, and yet here I am, waiting beneath the hush of time. You have opened the box where I slept, nestled between paper corners and the scent of cedar. My cover is soft with wear, edges feathered like the hem of a doll's skirt. You unfold me slowly, and I sigh. Lay me gently on the wooden floor. Let your eyes travel across the fading ink, hand-printed in 1880, when gentlemen still tipped their hats and the world smelled of horsehair and lamp oil. My pages are yellowed like candlelight, but every instruction remains intact, waiting for you. Inhale deeply. That scent you detect, fresh oak, shaved just days before it was shaped. It still holds the sun of a long-gone afternoon. I remember the rasp of tools, the rhythm of blades guided by calloused hands. A craftsman's breath warmed the wood as he whispered stories to it, stories I now carry. The first thing you'll notice are the rocker rails, long sweeping arcs as if drawn by the hand of a dreamer. They curve gently toward the earth, just enough to kiss it and lift again. Touch them. Can you feel the texture? Smooth from sanding, but not without character. The wood bears its rings like memory, imperfections not to be corrected, but celebrated. You'll find 2 side panels wrapped in muslin, each one shaped like the body of the horse. Lay them beside you. They do not yet resemble the creature they will become, but they already hold its spirit. The holes drilled for dowels are clean and precise, like tiny doorways into another century. Next to them, the smaller pieces, the neck joint, the tail cradle, the blocks for the stirrups. Handle them slowly. They respond better that way. Every piece has a place. Every curve has been carved with intention. When you hold the saddle frame, you may hear a faint creak. It's not imagination. It's time echoing back, curious. Let us begin our assembly. Start by placing the 2 rocker rails parallel, about the width of your own shoulders apart. Feel how they rest on the floor like sleeping wings. Now locate the 4 support beams marked R1 through R4. These connect the rails and form the cradle upon which the horse's body will sit. Use the square pegs included, yes, those in the linen pouch. The pegs were made from pine, not oak, to allow for slight expansion. Slide them gently into the pre-carved holes. Listen as the wood greets wood with a whisper, a dry exhale like paper rubbing against itself. Secure each joint with the accompanying mallet, not the modern kind, the small one included in the original set, carved from chestnut with a handle worn from decades of fingers. Tap softly. You are not building quickly. You are conjuring. As the frame rises, notice how it feels sturdier than expected. That was the secret of Victorian toy making. Elegance married with resilience. Rocking horses weren't built for weeks. They were built for generations. Pause for a moment. Look around you. Even if you're alone, can you feel the presence of small eyes watching? Children not yet born, or perhaps long grown, who once rode on horses like this. Their laughter rings faintly in this room, held within the fibers of the wood. Listen long enough, and you may hear it in the floorboards too. Do you know when rocking horses first appeared? Around the early 17th century. But it wasn't until the 1800s that they became a staple in nurseries. The Victorians believed that play was a form of preparation, that every gallop of imagination was a rehearsal for life. This horse you're building, it once stood in parlors beside velvet drapes and ticking clocks. You run your hands across the top rail. The grain there is tighter, darker. That piece came from near the root of the oak tree, where the wood grows denser. They chose it for its strength, knowing it would bear the weight of dreams. Now, attach the side panels to the frame. You'll use the brass fittings nestled in the small envelope. Don't rush. Insert each screw slowly, as if winding a music box. The threads catch after the second turn. Just enough resistance to feel satisfying, like slipping into a memory that almost escaped. Can you feel it? A sense of something returning, as if this horse remembers itself, and you are simply helping it wake up. Reach for the head joint. It fits between the neck panels with gentle pressure. You'll feel it align, as though magnetized by familiarity. This part is crucial. The head will guide the balance of motion, like the prow of a ship carving through imaginary fields. You may see a small uneven scratch near the eye socket. That is no flaw. It was left there, perhaps unintentionally, by the original carver's chisel. But I, the manual, remember the moment. It was raining that day in 1879, and the drops tapped against the workshop glass like impatient children. The craftsman paused, and the chisel caught. The horse bears that pause to this day. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine that workshop. Dust motes dancing in shafts of light. The smell of beeswax and coal. Outside, a wheelbarrow sits half-filled with curls of discarded wood. Inside, the horse was coming to life. You've reached the end of the first page, but the beginning of something older. Now that the frame is joined and the body set in place, we rest for a breath. Like the horse before its first ride, like the child before their first dream. Place your hand on the horse's flank, unfinished still. Feel its quiet. Ask yourself gently, who might one day rock upon this? Will they feel the grain beneath their palms, as you do now? Will their laughter rise like a kite in the wind, as others once did? Or perhaps this horse will never be ridden again, only admired quietly, a museum of memory. And still, I guide you. page by page, wood to wood, past to present, always with care. Breathe with me now. Before your hands move again, let your senses settle into the scent that surrounds us. The oak you're working with, can you smell it? Sweet, resinous, touched by earth and age. Even after all these years, the fragrance has not left. It is as if the tree still whispers through its grain. This wood was felled in the late spring of 1878, not by machine, but by men with long-handled saws and songs on their lips. They sang to steady their rhythm, each draw of the blade like breath. They spoke to the trees, asking forgiveness before the cut. That was the way of the old world, respect woven into every action. The oak for your horse came from Norfolk, near the edge of a forgotten orchard, where apples once fell and vanished. Its bark was coarse and dark, the inside pale and strong. When the trunk fell, it echoed through the hills like distant thunder. That sound was the first heartbeat of this toy. Now you carry on the rhythm. Let's prepare the belly panel, the broad undercurve of the horse, which bridges the side frames and completes its core. It is slightly bowed, carved from a single, uninterrupted plank. Notice the contrast in color, creamy near the center, bronze at the edges. This is the soul of the tree revealed. Hold it with both hands. It is heavier than it looks, isn't it? The density tells you it lived a long life, grew slowly and held strong. Line it up between the side panels. You'll see the mortises awaiting the tenons, those protruding arms of the belly panel. They slide into place with a hush, like pages closing in an old book. Press down gently until you hear the soft click of alignment. That sound? That's the past settling into the present. Secure it with the wooden wedges included, long and tapered, wrapped once in cotton twine. Push them firmly but without force. The joints will tighten with time and with use. The Victorians believed a toy should become stronger the more it is loved. Feel that? The frame grows more solid beneath your fingertips. You've given the horse its spine. Let us continue. Above the belly sits the chest brace, a curved piece designed to support the neck and distribute weight. Run your fingers along its arc. Can you feel the bevel? It was shaped not by machines, but with a spoke shave. That tool, long forgotten by most, allowed the carver to pull curls of wood so thin they floated in the air like feathers. Fit the chest brace now and listen. The sound of it settling in place is hushed and round, almost like a lullaby. The brass screws used here were hand-cast. See the slight irregularity in the heads? That's not imperfection, that's fingerprint. A man touched that metal with intention. Take a moment. Imagine the craftsman at his bench, the lamp flickering, the fire low. Outside, rain slicks the cobblestones. Inside, he turns the wood with both patience and pride. He knows this horse will one day outlast him. He hums as he works, a tune passed down from his father's hands. This horse is made not just of materials, but of moments like that. Look now to the rear joint, the tail socket carved in a shallow curve. You'll see small chisel marks inside, like ripples in still water. Leave them. They are its fingerprint too. Fit the rear brace to the underframe. It slots in as if drawn home by memory. Secure it and pause. The structure is whole now.
The horse, still faceless, still motionless, has taken its first breath. You may not hear it, but it's there. Beneath your fingers, a readiness hums. The frame wants to move, to rock, to cradle someone small and laughing. Let's talk about the age of toys. In 1880, when I was first printed, a rocking horse like this would have been a cherished item in an upper-middle-class household. Not every child could afford one. They were often given as heirlooms or as extravagant gifts on occasions like christenings. This one? It was commissioned by a woman named Eleanor Mayfield as a birthday present for her youngest son. His name was Henry. He rode this horse until the paint wore from the saddle, until his legs grew too long to bend upon its back. And when he outgrew it, the horse did not complain. It waited. It listened to the silence of his absence. It carried echoes in place of motion. Now, as you rebuild it, those echoes return. Touch the inside of the frame. Feel the weight of years beneath your skin. Not heavy, but rich, like a well-worn book, or a melody half remembered in a dream. Do you remember your first toy? Perhaps it was not made of wood. Perhaps it was soft, or loud, or covered in bright plastic. But was there not something eternal in the way you looked at it, as if it knew you better than anyone? This horse knew Henry that way. You are building not a replica, but a revenant, a remnant, a rhythm restored. Now turn the frame upright, gently. There, the shape is unmistakable. Even without a mane, without a saddle, without eyes, it is already a horse. It is already remembered. One more piece awaits this stage, the rocker beam locks. These are the keystones of the motion, the small brackets that attach the frame to the curved base, allowing it to sway with balance and grace. Affix them now. Use the long brass pins tucked inside the folded parchment. Each pin slides in with a shiver, each turn of the driver a tick of time rewinding. As you tighten them, feel the tension of readiness. The wood, now joined, no longer feels like pieces. It feels like a whole, awaiting breath. Set your tools down, not because you are finished, but because the frame is ready to rest. Before we build further, we allow the wood to settle into its shape. That is the way of things built to last. Sit beside it. Close your eyes if you wish. Let the scent of oak, oil, and dust curl around you. Let the stillness settle. The horse is no longer a puzzle. It is a promise. One step closer to motion, one page deeper into time. And I, your manual, am grateful to be opened again. Now that the frame is set and the belly secured, your hands must follow the curves. They were always meant to be touched. The arcs you see, the rockers, are more than wooden shapes. They are invitations. They speak a language of sway and lullaby. Place your palms along their edges. Do you feel it? That soft glide, polished not only by sandpaper, but by time. These curves were modeled after the rhythm of the human cradle. Yes, before toys rocked children, mothers did. And before mothers, the sea. The human body, even as an infant, remembers that rocking, side to side, slow and sure. That is what we are recreating now. These rails, gently rising and falling, carry that ancient motion forward. Turn the frame carefully on its side, exposing the full undercarriage. Your next task is to align the balance runners, the thin crossbars that brace the rockers. They rest like ribs, hidden but essential. Without them, the motion becomes unstable. You must place each one precisely. I will show you. Locate runner A and align it with the first pair of sockets. Press it in with the heel of your palm. It should seat with a firm, muffled sound like the closing of a wooden box. Repeat this for the remaining runners, working forward to aft, letting each one settle in its cradle. Use the dowel pegs, yes, the rounded ones marked with a single black line. They are shaped from ash, more pliable than oak, chosen so they may flex without cracking. Insert them gently, no rush. A single tap from the mallet will do. Let the wood respond. And it will. It always does in time. The Victorians understood this intimately. To them, wood was not just material, it was temperament. Oak could be proud and unyielding. Ash was forgiving. Pine was swift to accept, but slow to endure. Your horse is built from a conversation between these moods. Run your fingertips along the inside of the rocker arc. There, just near the midpoint, is a faint groove, not quite a scratch. It was formed by the rocking of another frame, a sibling horse, stored beside yours in the workshop, long before either was sold. Time left its mark, not in malice, in memory. Now, take the polishing cloth from the box. It is the one with a faint reddish hue. Before we proceed, we must prepare the surface. The final pass always is done by hand. Rub the cloth along the curvature in slow, unbroken strokes. Move with the grain, not against. Feel the resistance lessen as you go. The wood warms slightly beneath your touch. That warmth is not imagined. Friction stirs life, even in slumbering things. The scent rises again. Beeswax, soft oil, a hint of smoke from a long extinguished fire. Do you hear that sound? A soft creak. No, not the floorboards. It is the voice of the frame itself, not speaking, not truly, but responding. The wood knows it is nearly whole. You may begin to feel your shoulders relax. That is no accident. The rhythm of polishing, the rocking beneath your knees, the hush of tools return to rest, all of it is by design. Just as the horse will calm the child who rides it, it calms the one who builds it, even you. Pause for a moment. Set the cloth down. Sit back. Look at what you've made. A body balanced on arcs. A breath waiting to exhale. Let me tell you something the catalog never printed. In 1880, rocking horses were not only playthings, they were training tools. Victorian etiquette demanded composure, posture, stillness. And yet children needed motion. So the rocking horse became a compromise. Stillness in motion. The illusion of gallop without leaving the nursery. Many a child rode their rocking horse to invisible lands, over imaginary fields, under linen-draped tables, across oceans made of carpet. And when they returned, breathless, the horse waited for the next journey, always quiet, always ready. Yours, too, will wait. Now return your attention to the footings. These are the lowest points of the arc, the contact with the floor. They must be even, smooth, free of splinters. Take the pumice stone from the kit. Its surface is gritty but forgiving. Rub it lightly across the undersides, letting the stone skim, not bite. The sound it makes, soft scraping, reminds one of distant waves against dock planks. Let it lull you. You're almost ready to test the balance. But not yet. First, install the motion guards, the narrow slats that flank the base of the frame, limiting over-tilt and protecting small feet. They attach with miniature brass hinges. Look closely at each, hand-forged. The pin in the center is irregular, as if filed by lamplight. Screw them into place, slowly. There. That sound, the quiet bite of thread into oak, is one of the oldest music scores in carpentry. Now, gently press one side of the frame, not to move it, just to coax. The horse answers.
It shifts slightly, a fraction of an inch. Its balance is true. Its intention is clear. The curves support the frame like the crescent supports the moon. You did this. With patience, with care, with quiet. Look once more along the arcs. Their shape tells a story of movement, even when still. In their reflection, you might see a hallway, dimly lit, with a small shadow rocking softly. Or perhaps only yourself, holding memory in your hands. A memory you've helped to rebuild. And when the rocking truly begins, in a later section, in a later hour, it will carry not just a child, but a piece of you as well. That is the gift of the curve. That is the dream it rocks. Hold out your palm. There, resting within it, are the fasteners. Not just pieces of metal, not merely pins or nails, but the quiet anchors of memory. Pick one up. Feel its weight. It is lighter than you'd expect, yet dense with meaning. A single square-cut nail, forged sometime before 1880. You'll see that its shaft is slightly uneven, handmade, before machines made every edge the same. That's how they did things once, with irregularity that breathed. Let me tell you about this set. The brass pins were cast in Cambridge, the iron nails in Leeds. Each box that left the workshop came with its own tiny envelope of fasteners, carefully counted. I remember when they were wrapped in brown wax paper, sealed with twine. And they are still here, still waiting. Take the first nail between your fingers. Look at the head, square with soft corners worn from time. That was intentional. Sharp edges cut wood. These were shaped to nestle in, not bite. Place it at the base of the neck joint, there, just above the arc of the chest brace. You'll feel the wood yield slightly, like an old friend leaning closer. Tap gently, not with force. Let the hammer's weight do the work. That sound? It's not just metal on wood. It's a note in a song sung over a century ago. A quiet beat in the rhythm of making. The kind that echoes across lifetimes. Add another pin now, into the saddle brace, then one into the back post. Slowly, methodically. With each strike, you secure more than structure. You anchor history. Listen closely between taps. You may begin to hear the cadence of the workshop. Not just yours, the original one. The air thick with sawdust. The light golden, slanting through small-paned windows. The sound of tools, yes, but also voices, laughter, footsteps on stone, a bell outside, calling time.
A boy named Thomas helped pack the nails. He was 12. His job was to count, wrap, and seal. He worked beside his father, who carved the rails. They spoke little, but their silences were full of meaning. I remember Thomas's fingers, stained with graphite, always dusty. He handled the pins as if they were secrets. He packed the ones you hold now. And perhaps, in some quiet way, he knew they would last this long. Let's continue. The next fasteners will go into the rocker locks. This time, use the slim brass screws. They're tucked inside a folded card, stamped with a faded emblem, a horse inside a crown. Line up the holes. Yes, exactly there, where the wood meets at angles so perfect they look accidental. Insert the screw, turn slowly. The threads bite into the oak, curling shavings so fine they drift down like snow. Listen to that faint resistance. Not friction, conversation. The wood responds always to your rhythm. Have you noticed how quiet the room has become? That's part of it too. As the frame takes shape, the world outside begins to fade. What remains is this: you, the horse, and the echo of tools once put down in peace. Return to the nails now. 4 more, placed along the saddle spine. These will hold the leather frame when the time comes. For now, they stand like small sentinels, waiting, upright, proud. Your hammer taps lighter now. That's good. You found the rhythm. The Victorians believed in harmony between hand and object. The right tool, the right wood, the right pressure. Each one an element of balance. They didn't rush. They tuned themselves to the work. Let your breathing follow the tapping. In, out, tap, pause, in, out. You are not just building. You are remembering something older than instruction. Now step back. Observe the surface. Along the base, rows of pinheads glint softly. They are not uniform, and they should not be. Each one holds a different moment, a slightly deeper groove, a quieter echo. The past does not repeat itself. It ripples. Let your fingers brush over the fasteners. Some feel flush. Some are raised just enough to catch the edge of your skin. That texture, that's truth. Now reach into the box for the old cotton strip, slightly yellowed like aged paper. Wrap it around the neck post above the final nails. Tie it once. This was not in the original instructions, but was added by tradition. A ribbon to bless the build, a sign of care. You've done more than fasten parts. You've stitched together time. And what of the unused nails? Leave them in the cloth pouch, always. Every horse was given 1 or 2 extra, not for accidents, but for humility. The builders believed in leaving space for the unknown, that no toy was ever truly finished, that something always remained for the future. You may feel your eyelids grow heavier now. The repetition, the quiet, the wood beneath your hands. It soothes the body as it soothes the frame. Let the silence settle again. The pins are in, the nails are secure, and the horse? The horse waits. not yet complete, but no longer empty. It holds. And I, your guide, your manual, your whisper in the dust. Turn the next page when you're ready. Lean in now. The body of the horse is firm beneath your hands. The wood is joined. The frame holds. It no longer feels like parts, but presence. And yet, it needs something more. Look beside you, wrapped in tissue paper, soft and crinkled with time.
Unfold it slowly. Inside, you will find the saddle. Dark leather, slightly cracked from age, but still supple. It catches the light like worn velvet. Along its edge, a row of precise, hand-stitched seams. Each loop a thread of memory. Let your fingers follow them. Can you feel it? These stitches are not modern, not made by machine or hurried hand. They were sewn by a woman named Margaret Ellis in the spring of 1880. She worked in a quiet upstairs room above the shop in Walthamstow. She hummed as she stitched, low and rhythmic, a lullaby passed down by her mother. Margaret's fingers were small but sure. She would warm the needle between her palms before threading it, so the leather wouldn't split. She believed children could feel the difference, not with their skin, but with their dreams. You hold the result now. Before fitting the saddle, warm it slightly. Not with fire, with your touch. Lay it across your lap. Let your palms press gently against the surface. Close your eyes. Imagine the saddle softening, not just from heat, but from familiarity, from recognition. The shape is curved to cradle, not to sit, but to belong. Position it now on the horse's back. It rests naturally between the arch of the neck and the rise of the haunch. This placement was not measured, it was remembered. Always the same for centuries. A balance point discovered through repetition. Reach for the small pouch beside the saddle. Inside are the brass tack pins. You'll recognize them by their round domed heads, like tiny golden mushrooms. Each one is different, slightly bent, slightly dulled. Perfect. Begin at the front corner. Hold the first pin between finger and thumb. Tap it gently with the heel of your hand. No hammer yet. Let it feel the wood. Let it listen. Now take the small bone-handled tool, the one with the curved tip. Use it to guide the leather edge beneath the pin. Press, tap, and again. There is no need to speak. The sounds are enough. Tap, press, breathe, fold. Each pin you drive into place is like punctuation in a forgotten letter. Small, final, deliberate. Around the saddle you go, front to back, left to right, until the leather is held firmly, as if it had always been there. Now the saddle straps. Lift the two narrow bands of leather from their velvet pouch. These were cut from harness scraps, soft with use. They thread through tiny brass loops already affixed beneath the belly. Pull one strap through, then double it back. Feel the resistance, like tugging on history. Tie a small knot, then the other. The saddle is on. Not just attached, but worn, familiar, ready. Sit back, look at it.
Can you see the slight indentation in the center? It's not damage, it's memory. From 100 little rides. From shoes pressing down, hands clutching the neck, dreams galloping away. Some say children ride horses like this to far-off places. But Margaret believed something different. She said, the rocking horse doesn't carry the child, it listens to them. The saddle is where the listening begins. Touch the leather again. It has cooled slightly. That is normal. Leather changes with the room, with the mood, with the hands. You have given it new warmth. Now pick up the saddle blanket, the small square of red felt with gold trim. It was purely decorative, but tradition held that it should be placed beneath the saddle after pinning, not before. Why? So it could be tucked in, like a child beneath a quilt. Slide the blanket beneath the saddle edge now. Tuck gently. The corners will peek out just enough to be seen, never enough to distract. It is soft, like silence. You've reached a pause in the build, and that is part of the process too. Sit with the horse. Let your hand rest on its back. Feel how the saddle settles, how it belongs now, not added, integrated. Listen again to the sounds of the room. The faint creak of the boards, the brush of felt, the near inaudible tick of the tack pins cooling. This is how dreams are stitched, slowly, softly, by hand. You have added comfort to structure, warmth to form, emotion to function. That is what the saddle does. It turns a wooden frame into a resting place. And when a child climbs on for the first time, they will not remember the pins or the stitching, but they will feel the softness, the security, the patience. And somewhere, perhaps without knowing, they will carry that feeling with them into sleep, into play, into the world. The saddle holds more than weight, it holds care. And so do you. I will guide you further soon. But for now, rest your hands. Let the smell of leather fill the quiet. Let the light grow softer around the horse. Let your breath move slow, in and out. You are no longer assembling. You are becoming part of it. And the horse is listening. Beneath the saddle, the wood is warm. Above it, bare. Until now. It's time to give the horse its mane, its crown, its softness. Unfold the linen wrap tied with faded ribbon. Inside, you will find the strands, fine, pale, and slightly wavy. This is not synthetic thread. This is true linen, drawn from flax harvested near the River Wye in 1879. It was combed by hand, then bundled and tied, waiting all these years for this moment. Lift the fibers. They rustle almost imperceptibly, like old pages turning in a closed library. Run your fingers through them. They resist ever so slightly, clinging like breath to glass. Not knotted, not coarse, but alive in their stillness. The mane, you see, was never meant to look perfect. No two horses wore theirs the same. Let yours fall as it will, parting over the nape, drifting across the neck like a sigh. Let it be asymmetrical, honest. To attach it, locate the fine row of boreholes drilled just below the upper spine. They are shallow, delicate, spaced evenly by a hand long gone. Thread each bundle through slowly.
Guide the first tuft needle included in the original kit. It's tucked inside a hollowed cork stopper. It feels light between your fingers, almost ceremonial. Guide the first tuft in. Pull. Pause. Anchor with the wooden wedge tip. Slide the wedge into the channel just behind the borehole. Push gently. The fiber flattens, it breathes, it stays. Repeat this again and again and again. A quiet rhythm builds, not of sound, but of motion. The same motion Margaret once used, the same she taught to her daughter in silence. Fold, thread, anchor, smooth. Some strands will twist, let them. Some will fall forward, teasing the brow. Let them speak their own story. Victorian children believed a horse's mane could store dreams. They would whisper to it, tell it secrets, then ride. Your hands, too, are now keepers of that tradition. Pause and look. The mane is not full yet, but it has presence, a ghost of movement, a silhouette of motion, a wind remembered. Now the front tufts. These fall between the ears, over the forehead, the wisdom fringe, as it was once called. They are shorter. You'll find them bundled separately, tied with green string. They go into the final 3 boreholes above the eye socket. Do you see the pattern now? It's not precise. It's poetic. Gently comb the strands downward with the tip of the cloth. The fibers loosen, they sway, they settle into place like mist across a field. And now, run your hand down the mane from crown to withers. Can you feel it? It yields, but not too much. It stays, but only just, like memory. Let me tell you something few remember. The workshop kept a small wall of finished manes, each tagged with a child's initials. Before shipping, they would sometimes replace the stock mane with one chosen by the family, a child's favorite color, a lock of hair sewn in, a ribbon tied with a name. None of that is required, but if you wish, you may tie a ribbon now. Choose one, any one. A simple gesture to bind your moment into the horses. Not to decorate, to remember. Tie it loose near the base of the neck where the mane begins to thicken. Let it dangle. Let it fade over time. Its purpose is not to remain, but to once have been. Now lean in. Can you hear the fibers? They move like whispers, a rustle with no origin, a hush that wraps around the frame and folds into your breath. The mane is more than adornment. It is story. And so we tell one, wordless, woven through the grain of wood and thread of flax. Look once more. The horse is changing. You may not see it all at once, but the silhouette has softened. It no longer looks carved. It looks known. And you no longer feel like builder. You feel like keeper. That, too, was always the point. Rest your hands now. The mane is in place. The linen holds fast. The ribbon, if tied, trembles with the quiet of the room. You may feel yourself softening too, your breath slower, your gaze unfocused. That is good. Let the quiet be complete. Let the fibers settle. Let the horse sleep. And I, still your guide, will wait with you,
until we begin again. We've come to the eyes. It changes everything. Until now, your horse has felt like structure, like memory forming in wood and thread. But once the eyes are in place, it begins to look back. Open the small tin box labeled Optic Set. Inside, cushioned in faded velvet, rest 2 glass buttons. Round, smooth, deeply brown, like cooled tea or tree bark in twilight. Lift one gently. Tilt it toward the light. Do you see it? That subtle gleam, not a shine, but a shimmer. It does not reflect light, it seems to hold it. Victorian toy makers knew something about stillness. They believed a toy that appeared to listen would comfort a child more than one that smiled. That's why the eyes were never wide, never bright, just calm, present, watching without expectation. Turn the horse's head slightly toward you.
Beneath the mane, you'll find 2 shallow sockets carved with quiet precision. Not perfectly even, intentionally so. One sits just a fraction lower, lending a softness to the gaze. Place the left eye in first. It rests with a slight click, almost too faint to hear, but it resonates. Press gently. Now the right. In it goes, aligned but not symmetrical. That's how faces live. Step back. Look now. What do you see? Is it a horse or something more? Do the eyes meet yours or pass through into memory? The answer changes every time. Let me tell you, the glass for these eyes was fired in a small kiln behind a shop in Bath. The craftsman was a man named Elias. He made marbles by day, dull eyes by evening, and rocking horse eyes on special request. He used a copper rod to swirl the pigment into molten glass. Not too deep, just enough to create depth, that uncanny trick of reflection. And sometimes, while the glass cooled, he'd lean over the table and whisper stories into the fire, just to see if they stayed. They did. You're holding one of those stories now, embedded in glass, set into oak. Return to the box. Inside, there's a small pouch of sealing putty, honey-colored, soft to the touch. Take a pinch and warm it between your fingers. It smells faintly of pine tar and beeswax. That scent, you've smelled it before, haven't you? Maybe in your grandfather's shed. Maybe in an old drawer that hadn't been opened in years. Pack the putty gently behind each eye. Use the back of a matchstick or the blunt tip of the awl. Press just enough to feel resistance. There, now they hold. Sit with it a moment. Let your gaze meet the horse's. Don't speak, don't name it, just notice. There's a pause in the room now, as if something has joined you. And maybe it has. Maybe it's the memory of a child who once leaned close to these same eyes and whispered secrets. Or maybe it's something simpler, the moment when object becomes companion. Have you ever noticed how children look at their toys? Not briefly, not casually, but fully, as if expecting an answer, and sometimes receiving one. These eyes are ready to do that again, but they are not for you. Not really. You are only the hands that restore the gaze. That's why you mustn't adjust them. Don't aim them. Let them fall where they may. Let them watch what they choose. Return the tin box to its place. Fold the velvet back over the space where the eyes once rested. Even though it is empty now, close it with care. Set it gently aside.
Because something has changed. You can feel it, can't you? Before the eyes, the horse was still becoming. Now it waits. Look around the room. Has the light shifted? Has the air grown quieter? That happens sometimes when something remembers what it once was. Now touch the side of the face, just below the eye. Smooth, cool. The grain curves there like a cheek. The mane spills just past it, a softness beside stillness. Together, they make something nearly human, and yet beautifully not. Don't rush this moment. The eyes are not just for seeing, they are for being seen. By you, by memory, by whoever will rock upon this horse next. Perhaps a child, perhaps no one, perhaps only the dust and time and dreams. There is one more detail. Take the smallest brush, the one with the bristles nearly worn to nothing, and dip it into the tin of finish. It's a mix of linseed oil and lavender, traditional for toys made to soothe. Brush it once, gently, over the eyes. They will shine slightly, only for a moment, then fade into their final state, quiet, present, enduring. Let the brush rest in your palm. Let the silence stretch. The eyes are in. The horse sees. And I, your guide, rest the page upon that gaze until it is time to continue. We've reached the part where tension becomes balance, the moment between stillness and sway. Below the belly of the horse, near the crossing braces, you'll find two sets of brass eyelets, one on each side of the frame. Look closely. They form a mirrored pattern, 6 in total, worn at the edges where generations of small shoes once nudged them. These aren't decoration. They are anchors for the cords, thick woven rope made from jute and cotton thread, braided by hand in Yorkshire, knotted at both ends, and dusted faintly with talcum to preserve the fiber. Pick one up. It's firm but flexible, with just enough give to suggest it was meant to move, but only when called. Run your fingers along it. Feel the texture, rough at first, then smoothing as your skin warms it. That friction is part of its memory, part of its voice. Loop the first end through the forward eyelet. Feed it slowly through and listen. There it is again, that soft creak. Not from your hands, from the frame, as if it too remembers how this step once felt. The cords will crisscross beneath the body, passing through each opposing eyelet. Think of it as lacing a boot, not for the foot, but for the spirit of the horse. You are giving it structure, yes, but also tension, energy, readiness. Begin your lacing. Over, under, pull, pause, tighten. With each pass, the frame subtly contracts. The wooden pieces draw closer, whispering into each other's grain. Not in protest, in anticipation. When the final loop is tied, step back for a moment. Look beneath. What once sat flat now has lift. There is tension, spring, poise. The horse is learning to hold itself, even while at rest. And in that, there is beauty. Let me tell you a truth they never printed in the leaflets. These cords were not simply mechanical, they were symbolic. Toy makers believed that a rocking horse's motion came not just from the arc, but from the tension within. That a gentle resistance beneath the frame gave children something they could sense,
even if they didn't understand it.
Some said it taught balance. Others said it taught restraint. But all agreed the creak of taut rope beneath wood was the sound of readiness. And now you've restored it. Reach now for the tension key, a small, flat piece of turned iron, cold to the touch. Its surface is pitted like stone, worn from decades of turning. Insert it into the tension ring beneath the main beam. Turn slowly, clockwise. One full turn. You'll hear the rope groan slightly, not in pain, in response. Another half turn, then stop. Too tight and the horse resists. Too loose and it sags. Balance lies in the middle. Check your work with the heel of your hand. Press down on the saddle lightly. You'll feel it, a soft springiness, a gentle give that returns, like breath pushed and drawn back again. Now listen. You may hear it, the creak, low, wooden, hollow, not alarming, almost musical. That is the sound of a horse learning to move again. You can imagine it, can't you? A child climbing up, feet dangling, gripping the mane, leaning forward, and the horse beginning to rock, slow at first, then steady, then fading into rhythm. That rhythm starts here, in these chords. Now tie the final bow. There, at the base of the main underframe, the two ends of the final rope must be knotted. A sailor's bend, simple, strong, designed never to slip, even after decades. The knot is your signature. Your name may not be written on this toy, but your presence is sealed here, in fiber and form. Let your hands rest for a moment. Let your breath slow. Feel how the horse settles beneath you now, not just solid, but alive with potential. It rocks gently when nudged. It creaks when leaned on. It holds, and yet it moves. Somewhere in this room, that creak becomes a lullaby. Not loud, not proud, but certain. Certain in the way old toys always are, their truths worn smooth by time. And if you listen closely, between the sounds of tightening and the floorboard groan and the hush of linen brushing wood, you might hear laughter, not loud, not clear, but familiar. The echo of children who once held the same ropes, who rocked in the same rhythm, who whispered stories into the mane and swore the horse replied. That's what you've built. Not just a frame, not just a toy, but a listener. A bearer of secrets, a creak in time. And I, your guide in thread and ink, turn the page now, but the sound remains. The chords are tied. The horse listens, and the story stretches forward. The chords are set. The saddle is tied. The wood holds tension like a breath waiting to be released. And now, it is time. The horse stands before you complete in form. Yet still, you and I know what must come next. A motion, small, deliberate, imagined before enacted. Approach slowly. Place your hand, just one, on the back of the saddle. Not to mount, not yet. Simply feel it. There is a softness beneath the leather now, a spring in the body that wasn't there before. Press down. There. A shift, almost imperceptible. The ark beneath moves just slightly, the first whisper of a rocking not yet realized. Again, press, wait, release. This is not about movement. It is about the promise of movement. Close your eyes if you wish. And now, imagine. A child climbs up. You do not see their face, only the smallness of their limbs, the way they gather the mane in one hand, the saddle in the other. They lean forward, eyes wide, not with fear, but with wonder. Their feet dangle, their breath catches, and then the first push. The horse rocks, slowly at first. A hush, a creak, a tiny exhale. The ark carries them forward, then back, again and again. In your mind now, the room expands. What was once a workbench is now a nursery. Wood-paneled walls, a woolen rug, curtains drawn just enough to let moonlight spill in. Outside, rain.
Inside, stillness, broken only by the rhythm of the rocking. And the laughter. Soft, high, trailing off into giggles. Not raucous, not loud, but full. Full of a joy that doesn't need words. The horse responds. Not quickly, not wildly, but patiently. It rocks with the child, not under them. A rhythm shared, not imposed. And in that shared motion, the room seems to breathe. Back and forth. Now let your hand do the same. Push, gently. Feel the frame respond. It rocks. It returns. It remembers. And with each cycle, the echo grows. Of other hands, other nights, other first rockings. Let me tell you something very few manuals were ever allowed to say. Rocking is not just play. It is ritual. Long before there were toys, there were cradles. Long before cradles, arms. We rock to soothe, to remember rhythm, to remind the body you are not alone. Every child knows this, even if they forget it later. That's what the rocking horse returns to them, and perhaps to you as well. Let your mind follow the motion, back and forth, back and forth. Listen to the creak of wood on floor, to the sound of rope flexing, of brass joints shifting almost imperceptibly, to the air moving in time with the ark. Do you hear it? Something between breath and memory. Let yourself sway, if you wish. You've spent so long building. Now you rest. Now the horse carries you, back and forth. And in this imagined ride, you may glimpse something. Not quite vision, not quite thought. A hallway, a lamp, a small hand waving as the horse rocks past. Or nothing at all. Just the deepening rhythm of your own breath syncing with the toy built to remember how to hold you. The rocking continues. It needs no words. It needs no destination. Only repetition. Only presence. Only now. And when the motion slows, let it. That, too, is part of the story. A child does not rock forever. The horse does not always move.
But even in stillness, it carries what it learned in motion. So do we. Look now. The horse has changed. Not in shape, not in color, but in spirit. It has rocked, and so it knows what it is, who it's for, where it belongs.
Place your hand upon the mane, just once. Say nothing. You have brought it this far. You have imagined its first ride, and the rest will come. The rocking has stopped, but the silence is different now. It is not the stillness of something unfinished. It is the stillness of something remembered. Let the quiet surround you. The horse no longer sways. Its arc lies flat against the floor, breath held in wood. But beneath your palm, if you rest it on the saddle, there is a warmth that lingers. Not from friction, not from effort, but from presence, from having been used. That is what toys long for, you know. Not shelves, not glass, but touch. And your hands have done just that, guided it into being, held it steady, listened to its creak, and answered with care. Now step around it. Look once more at the whole shape, not as a builder, not even as a caretaker, but as someone saying a gentle farewell to a friend before bedtime. There are no more pieces left to add, no more tools to reach for, only breath, and perhaps memory. Let me tell you something the old manuals never wrote. The stillness after rocking is not emptiness. It is echo, a held note after music, a ripple after stone. You may not see the child anymore, the imaginary one you conjured, but their laughter is here, caught in the arc of the rail, suspended in the curve of the mane. And the horse remembers. All good rocking horses do. Reach for the cloth now, the same one you used to polish the curves. Fold it once, carefully, and sweep it gently across the body, from neck to flank, from saddle to footrest. This is not cleaning. This is closure. With each stroke you say, "You are finished. You are ready. You are held." Notice how your movements are slower now, how your breath has deepened. That's not fatigue, that's release. Even you, who did the making, have been shaped. That's the secret of toys made by hand. They change not just the child, but the builder. The rocking horse now stands in full silhouette. It needs nothing more. It expects nothing. And still, it waits. For the next ride, or for nothing. For dust and sunbeams, for silence. That's the beauty of it. Some toys are loud, some demand attention. But this one simply is, present, quiet, complete. You may feel something now, a small ache behind the eyes, a sigh you didn't realize had formed in your chest. Let it out. The horse, too, has exhaled. You can almost hear it, that final soft creak as its weight settles into itself, like a story finishing its last word. Do not rush to leave. Let the air settle. Let the room absorb the stillness. Let your own body align with the horse's breathless grace. And if your eyes begin to close, let them. It is no longer time to build. It is time to rest. Time for the horse to stand watch, and for you to dream. The next page is quiet. The next page is soft. But for now, we pause. We listen. We remember. The rocking is done, but the lullaby continues. There is something peculiar about a rocking horse at rest. Its feet do not touch the ground. Not quite. They hover just slightly above the floor, as if suspended in thought. Not by accident, but by design. You see, the Victorians believed that sleep came easier when the body remembered how it moved. even when it didn't move at all. So the horse was built to pause in mid-arc, neither forward nor back, a stillness caught between actions. And isn't that what dreaming is? Somewhere between going and returning. So look now at the hooves, 4 small forms, carved and sanded, wrapped in quiet. They do not kick, they do not trot, they float, as if walking in a sky no one can see. You may rest your hand there, right beneath the raised back hoof. Feel the absence of tension. Feel the lightness that comes when nothing is expected. This is the horse's truest state, not the rocking, but the drifting. A toy forever between gallops. A whisper shaped like a creature. Let your breath match its posture. Inhale, lift, hold, exhale, float. Again and again. Even in its sleep, the horse invites you to let go, to release your own weight, to find that delicate moment between effort and rest. Can you feel it? That flicker behind your eyelids, that gentle pull downward, that softness in the base of your spine. You are rocking now. Not by motion, but by memory. Let the mane fall over your hand. Let the scent of linen and wax drift through the room. Let the air grow still, like a nursery closed for the night. Curtains drawn, dust settled. Only a single toy standing, poised between yesterdays. Do you remember being small? Not in detail, but in feeling. The way a room felt bigger than your body. The way shadows stretched farther. The way silence came not from absence, but from safety. That feeling is here, held in the arch of the horse's neck, tucked beneath the saddle, resting at the tips of its floating feet. No one rides now. No one speaks, but the horse keeps watch, as it always has, as it always will. Outside, the rain may come, or the wind, or nothing. It doesn't mind. It knows how to wait, and so, perhaps, do you. Close your eyes now, if you haven't already. Let your feet drift a little higher in your thoughts. Let them lift with the horses. Let them stay there, not far, not strained, just suspended. This is where sleep begins, not in darkness, but in weightlessness, in the hush of old wood, in the breath of threadbare rope, in the soft creak that fades into silence. Stay here, hover with the horse, its hooves in the air, your thoughts untethered, no push needed, no pull. Only presence, only rest. The room is still. The rocking has passed. The creak has faded. The silence is complete now, not empty, but full. It's time, not to undo, not to forget, but to return. Find the box, the one that waited quietly while you worked. Its corners are worn, its hinges loose, but it remembers me. It remembers how I fold. Place me, your manual, back inside, page by page, edge to edge. No need to hurry. Let the paper slide against the wood like soft cloth. Let the corners tuck into place, as they always have. I've told my story. Now I rest. Turn to the horse one last time. It stands exactly where you left it, but it feels quieter, as if it too knows.
It does not ask for anything. It does not resist. It simply exists, as all the best toys do. Find the cloth, the one with the worn hem. Drape it over the horse's back, not to hide it, but to comfort it. Fold the ribbon beneath the saddle. Let the mane fall where it will. Brush nothing into order. Some things are meant to end in softness. Look down. Your hands are still now. The tools are silent. The air hums with dust and time. Step back. Let the light dim. You may feel your breath slow again. That's right. That's how it should be. Because the horse has returned. Not to slumber, not to storage, but to presence. It is not forgotten. It is remembered in quiet ways. A creak, a scent, a moment when nothing moved and everything was. You've made something more than a toy. You've made stillness, shape, listening. Close the box. I am home again, wrapped in dust, held in memory, waiting for the next pair of hands. Or not. It makes no difference, because I remain, and so does the horse. Good night, time traveler. Now the room fades. No more creaks, no more tools, no more questions. Only the hush of old wood cooling in the air, and a figure barely seen, standing still beneath a linen cloth. The rocking horse rests, its feet suspended.
Its mane whispering against the hush. Its eyes closed now, though they never really shut, watching the dim light settle like dust on an attic floor. And around it, a silence shaped by hands, yours. In this quiet, time dissolves. Workshops vanish. Children's laughter blurs into wind. The scent of sawdust lingers just long enough to fade. You are no longer here or then. You are in between, where breath slows, where motion becomes memory, and memory becomes dream. In a corner of a room that no longer exists, the rocking horse rocks once more, not with sound, not with weight, but with longing. A slow arc in the dark, a shadow on a wall, a lull in the story that never truly ends. Let your body mirror its sway. Let your thoughts rest their feet above the floor. Let your breath become round. Let your eyes float. And if in sleep you feel something brush past you, a creak, a warmth, a forgotten song, know that it is not gone. It has simply returned, folded beneath cloth, wrapped in ribbon, waiting in a box beneath the hush of years. Good night, time traveler. May your dreams carry the creak of this horse, the hush of this room, and the warmth of the hands that once built both. And may morning find you rested, soft, still rocking gently in the dust of a quiet history. The Manual.